and just let the car roll. Just like Clashin is doing now, Slade Raven and Flash 9, they were doing much of the same. You know, just nice, smooth, nice and easy. As we got Flash 9 going under Mike Ross here.
Mike Ross gives that spot up to the final. Flash 9 says, I'll fight you later on. Take it. You got fresher tires than me. But if we look at so far what Mike Ross did, as you actually listed P4 right there, Mike Ross was sitting back there around the 10th position when he came down the pit. And so far, the strategy is still somewhat working out for him. I mean, he's only lost a couple spots. He just took the spot back from Slade Raven, and now he's up to P. Still, he's right back up to P3. So, in all honesty, this strategy was not really a bad move for Mike Ross. He sits P3, but now he's under a heavy attack from Slade Raven and Chase Williamson as they head through the inner part here. Let's see what happens.
Oh, there goes
He's going to fight hard. Little contact.
No harm, no foul. No harm, no foul there, Joey. That's all right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No harm, no foul. Chase Williamson looking for a big run. He's going to dive it all the way below the blue line. And he's going to clear Mike Ross. Now looks on his eyes to go towards Slade Raven.
And if you...
but Mike Ross going back to the inside. Oh, this isn't over. Heavy braking. Oh, Brenner sends it in. Somehow doesn't get a course penalty, and that benefits Mike Ross.
Big time.
Wow. Is it a good debate if I say I'm having more fun with this race than Talladega? At least until the end of the stages, that is.
Well, I would have to agree. And Mike Ross up into the wall. Chase Williamson going to take that position back from Mike Ross. And I would agree with you, Joey. I mean, this road course, I mean, you know, Talladega, I mean, we had some excitement there, especially there at that stage 2 ending there. We had some real excitement. But you know how those super speedways are. I mean, they you know, it's a long line and the drafting and you know, with this, I mean, this is no holds barred. You know, the gloves are off type thing. I mean, this is road course racing. You know, so I mean, it's a totally different animal. I would agree, man. This is just fun to watch.
Fun to watch indeed, and right now it's a lot of fun for JCR Clashin, who is now P1 again with a comfortable lead. He won stage 1. 3-car battle here for looks to be about the 5th or 6th position. That's Brennator, who shot through the backstretch chicane. Somehow didn't get a course penalty, lived to fight another day. Now he's attacking J-Wild Mike, who stayed out on that last caution for the stage.
Yeah, I'll get a lap count here this next time by, as Clashin is in his own zip code, just like you said. Yeah, he's just checked out. But looking back here, you know, Mike Ross kind of he's losing a spot here now to J-Weld. That was for 5th spot. So Mike Ross, you know, the strategy, I think that still paid off for him. You know, he started first in stage on this stage. You know, he's fallen back to 6th. Of course, now looks like he's got the Brennanator right there on his tail. So he's got a battle on his hands for that. But still, I mean, he was way back there on stage 1. So he's still making. It's still a good decision, I think. It was a very good strategy on Mike Ross's part.
Hey, you gotta do what you can when you don't necessarily have that speed you're looking for. And right now, Clashin can have any option he possibly wants here. The way that car is driving, he's got a whole backstretch chicane lead over Flash 9. But look who is starting to put a little pressure on that 5 car. It's going to be Chase Williamson in the 14, who in stage number 1, he started on the pole. Remember, he started on the pole in this race, but had a couple incidents where he hit the wall a couple times, got a lot of damage on the car, fell back to 5th there in stage 1. Now he's looking to possibly take 2nd place away from Flash 9. A great exit there as he heads to turn 1 to put a little bit more pressure on him.
He looks like he's driving angry, Joey. He looks like he is pissed off. I mean, and you know, I can't say that I don't blame him. You know, they're in stage 1, had a little bit of misfortune, a little bit of bad luck, got into the wall, and here he goes up underneath Flash 9. He said, hey, you know, he saw him in his rear view.
Take it.
Yeah, he said, I'm not going to fight you on this one. You go ahead. I'm fine right here. I'm not going to damage my car. You go ahead and you take it. You're on your own there.
Chase Williamson has his eyes set on the 51 for a possible stage win, but the laps are winding down here. So it's going to have to take Clashin to make a little mistake or two if Chase Williamson wants to have a chance. But we've seen crazier things happen here with the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. Race 1 of the playoffs. Again, my name is Joey Stone. Shady alongside me in the commentary booth, bringing you all the action here from the Charlotte Roval race number 1 of the playoffs. We've seen lots of crazy action so far, and we're already near the end of stage 2. This race is going by really fast. Road courses tend to go very fast when it comes to league racing. You don't see a lot of cautions. You don't see a lot of crazy stuff, so it's a matter of getting every spot you possibly can, maybe trying some different strategies. And speaking of strategies, here comes Slade Graven in the 21.
Oh, and then we have a issue there. Somebody right there. That was P. It was somebody in 4th. Was that Slade in 4th that got loose into the wall?
Nope, Slade Graven's down pit road right now.
Yeah, maybe I think it may have been a 16. I couldn't see who was in P3, or I'm sorry, P4. But JCR Jaywell picked up that spot. I saw it on his...
I think it was Brendan Ayer, because Brendan Ayer just came down pit road, so he was well behind Slade. Something must have happened to the 16 car, what you saw. Okay. Slade Graven sitting there just in pit road as he now leaves. Looks as though that pit stop may have taken a little bit longer for Slade, so I'm curious to see, maybe he fixed a lot of damage. Not really sure what was going on there. Curious to see if anyone might stay out, though, if they can make it on fuel for stage number 2, which I imagine they can. But tires are really important here, especially for... Oh, Mike Ross, trouble! He overshoots the corner. Oh, boy, I think our spectator map's starting to glitch out a little bit here.
He's got the handle back on it. He's got the handle. He's back on the throttle. He's got some help from that other 95 car. And that other 95 car, that is DB the Best. That's DB the Best who just got around Mike Ross. And he just got into the wall, so there's the DB the Best. He's having a solid run here too himself. He's not doing too shabby. Getting around here pretty good, looks like.
2 laps to go at the moment in stage number 2. JCR Clashing looking to take that white flag to go for 2 stage wins in one race, especially the playoff race. Very big for Clashing right there to get 2 playoff points. As hopefully he looks to clinch in the next round and take those points with him. Chase Williamson trying to put up a fight, but it looks as though he will not have enough time to catch up to Clashing unless Clashing makes a huge error. Ball online with Chase Williamson here for a second. Now moving on to Clashing as he looks to take the white flag here for stage number 2.
And these points are very, very big, Joey. Coming into this race in the playoff standings, Chase Williamson had a 3-point lead on Clashing. So these stage points are huge for Clashing, getting these stage points. And if he's able to sweep the whole thing and get the win here, that would probably almost assure put him back in the lead in the point standings. And that's what was on Clashing's mind, and that's why you see him making that charge and making sure he gets and secures those points, from the championship standings, because he came in just 3 points down from Chase Williamson.
All those extra bonus points from wins and everything do add up, and Clashing's looking to possibly take that lead back. Because you always want to be in the lead in the point standings. No better feeling than being the leader in the point standings. We might only be in the first race of the playoffs, but it's always a big momentum booster for anyone if you are the points leader, especially if you're on your way to winning 2 stages in a row. As you can see, Chase Williamson, he is on your screen. He is definitely slowly catching the 51, but definitely will not be enough time here as Clashing, who has been Mr. Consistency all season long, looks to keep that name right with them as he heads through the final chicane here on his way through. And JCR Clashing is going to win stage number 2.
Big stage.
Chase Williamson in 2nd.
And Flash 9, he's going to come home in 3rd in this stage. Jaywell gets 4th. DB the Best. There he is right there getting a top 5. Good run for DB getting a top 5 for stage 2.
Now here's the interesting thing we're going to be looking at here. Slade Graven and Brennan Ayer both pitted there and did not go a lap down. So more than likely these two may not pit, or they might just take 2 tires here, maybe a splash of gas, just to try to get some of that track position back and maybe, just maybe, take the lead. So we'll definitely have to watch this restart. It's going to be very, very intense as the final stage is just around the corner. This race has been going by very, very fast. But it looks as though when we take the green flag, we'll have about 27 to 28 laps to go here. as the drivers are getting their final adjustments in.
So we will definitely have a green flag stop in stage 3. So that could definitely play a factor, especially, you know, hey man, you get a black flag or a penalty, that could change things up real quick. But you know, these guys, yeah, like you said, man, this is going by pretty fast, pretty quick, you know. But here we go in stage 3, Joey.
There they are. The 21-16 teammates 1 and 2 on the restart. The green flag is now out for stage number 3. Slade Graven has the lead, but for how long? How long can he hold on to it with a hard chasing Clashin on his, almost on his inside right there? Is he? Oh my goodness gracious!
Now Clashin, what he doesn't want to do, he doesn't want to be too over aggressive. He doesn't want to be too over aggressive. Make him say, here he goes into pass now, Joey.
Making the pass on the inside of Slade Graven. Clashin looking for that lead. Slade Graven way off the track into the grass. Somehow he saves it. They're still side by side for the lead. Slade Graven fighting with all of his power to hold on to this lead. He knows how important it is. Chase Williamson taking advantage of that on the inside of Clashin now. Move Chase Williamson up to second as the battle rages on with Slade holding on to the lead.
And Chase Williamson, he is, like I said, he is driving angry, Joey. He had the door open and he went right on through it. And Clashin, like you said, he just could not get that run. He just could not get that momentum to get clear to that 21. And the 14 was able, of Chase Williamson was able to pull right up on him, and just so happened to be on a turn, on a left-hand turn, and he was able to make that pass under Clashin. And here's Chase Williamson now as Slade kisses that wall.
Clashin with an aggressive move to the inside of Williamson. They make a little contact there. Slade Graven holding on for his dear life right now. But that battle for second's huge right there, because as soon as they get past Slade, that's going to be the lead right there. So Clashin knew he had to get that back as soon as he can. Now Flash and I looking to the inside of Chase Williamson for eventually P number 2.
And this battle for the lead, Joey, is heating up. As here comes, look at Flash 9 coming up here. Flash 9's going to have something to say about this, Joey. But here Clashin back going to looking underneath of Slade Graven. Going in a turn, Slade throws the block.
Watch this move by Clashin. Watch, he's going to peek to the inside. He's going to try to outbreak the 21 possibly. There he goes, he's going to look, nothing there. Slade gets a nice corner. A good exit. I don't think Clashin got a run there either to make a move, so right now, Chase Williamson, he took back P number 3, so if Slade can hold on to Clashin here for another, oh boy, hang on. Oh, he laid off. Oh my goodness gracious, this is going to be crazy right here.
Into the wall.
Oh, Slade hit. Oh.
Into the wall, Slade got.
Oh, he hit Clashin.
He got into the wall. Go ahead, Joey, go ahead.
Contact between the 21 and the 51. Now Chase Williamson looking to the inside or outside, whatever you want to call it, on Slade Graven. Chase is probably telling Slade, get out of the way, you're slower. Oh boy. I could have sworn I saw the 21-51 make a little contact, but it might have just been a glitch on the spectator mode. But Slade is still holding on. He's right on the bumper of the 51.
Oh, here comes Slade.
Maybe a little tension between the two. There might have been a little contact that our screens did not register there, because Slade definitely looks like he's not done with the 51.
And the Chase Williamson isn't done with Slade, as he's coming now, looking to the inside. He's going to make the pass for second. He gets out of control.
Oh! He messed up.
Big mistake.
And that's huge.
Big mistake.
And somehow Slade Graven still holding on in P2, but will he do anything to get up to Clashin and fight for the lead?
Well, that was just what Clashin needed. He needed that to happen so he can try to check out now. But Chase Williamson, he's going to catch these guys real quick. Riding with Chase Williamson now. He's closing in pretty quickly. He's got some help. He's got some battling going on with the 95 of DB the Best and the other 95 of JCR JWoww. They're going to have something to say about this before it's all said and done. I promise you that. Here comes Chase Williamson. He's getting back on the throttle. He's going to try to chase these two leaders down, Joey. I mean, Where do you want to go? Where do you want to look? You gonna go look at the lead? You gonna look in the middle? Because you got some racing all over this field here, Joey.
All over for sure. JCR Clash is trying to pull away from the 21, but if you look a little further back, you got both of the 95 cars. They're battling for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th place. Chase Williamson with a hefty mistake in the final stage, hitting that wall in the backstretch chicane. Now he's got to try and make up that time. The 295s are duking it out here for P number 4, with Flash 9 right there behind Perky and Mike RPM. It is getting intense.
And I think Flash 9, and last night, Joey, I had the pleasure of being on the podcast of that JWoww and Clash and host, and Flash 9 was a special guest on that podcast. So I had the pleasure of sitting in on that podcast and talk to these guys. And I asked a question, Joey. I said, you know, Flash, you've known Clashin' and you've known JWoww for a long time. What's the friendly? Is there a friendly rivalry? What kind of rivalry do you guys have? And they said, you know what? They've raced each other for so long. They've known each other for so long. They have a lot of respect for one another. Tremendous amount of respect. JWoww kind of said it hit the nail right on the head. He said, you know what? Yeah, we're friends off the track. We're the best of friends off of the track. But when we're on the track, I'm trying to kick your you-know-what. And here they go. You know, they show the respect, and then you can see a lot of patience where they give each other room. But when that door is open, you best believe they're going to go through it.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, for a car that stayed out there in that last caution, Slade Graven is holding his own pretty well. He hasn't really lost any time to the 51, who has a little bit fresher tires. Oh, wait. Did he just... Okay, no, it's a glitch. Oh, my goodness gracious. This spectator glitch is really throwing me off. I thought Slade Graven went airborne right there. But look at him. He's staying right with the 51. Does the 51 possibly have a little bit damage that might be affecting that car aerodynamically? Only Clash will be able to tell us. We don't have that info, but Slate Graven holding on tight. But if you just look a little further back, that 14's getting a little closer.
I'm taking a good look at that 51 car, Joey, to try to see if there's it look like there might be just a tiny bit of damage to that front hood of the 51, Joey. I mean, ever so slightly, probably not enough to where it's going to have any kind of effect on them. But, going back to that pit stop that you mentioned there at the end of Stage 2, where Slade and Brennator made that pit stop for the strategy, you remember you mentioned how that Slade kind of had a longer pit stop? It makes me now think that he took 4 tires on that pit stop, and that's what's able to help him stay up here in P2 and challenge for this win and this lead from Clashin'. As he's staying right there, he's not letting Clashin' check out right now. So that's huge. That's huge. So I wonder if he got those 4 freshies, and they're sticking pretty well here in Stage 3.
It could be, but also I just thought about something else. These drivers are going to have to pit one more time before the end of this race. If we go green the rest of the way, watch the 21 car, because he pitted before Clashin' and Chase Williamson. If he keeps this distance behind Clashin', pits about 3-4 laps prior to the 51, those fresh tires and all that fuel could be the difference maker of Slate Graven possibly winning this race.
Absolutely, and the old strategy of that short pit. The short that I always try to use that short pit strategy, Joey. Most of the time, it really never works out for me for some reason. But these guys, as good as they are, as talented and skilled as they are, they know how to do it. So that you're right, Joey. A short pit, being a few laps early, might do Slade exactly what you just said, Joey, and maybe be able to manufacture that lead.
Absolutely. And like we talked about, just kind of with that lead and everything, how important it is at a road course like this, just holding on to your own tempo, guiding your own race. Clash is doing that right now, but you got to think, if you're Clashing, you see Slate Graven, who's definitely got older tires than you, Chase Williamson catching up as well. You're starting to get a little antsy here, because you're telling yourself, man, I had this huge lead earlier, and I just cannot see the full way this time.
Looks like he's starting to pull away just a little bit now from Slade. I think the few lap pressure tires that Clashin has starting to show and starting to pull its muscle. So he's looking to pull away a little bit from Slade, but right there behind Slade, I see that black and white Smithfield car, that number 14 of Chase Williamson. I think he's going to be up here before we're going to be calling his name here a lot more, I think, before it's all said and done here, Joey.
Absolutely. Lots of names to be talked about as the field tackles on the Charlotte Roval here for race 1 of the playoffs. Clashin, Mr. Consistency with a little bit of damage on his car, now starting to pull away a little bit from Slade Grave as the laps are now winding down. We are less than 20 laps to go from the finish here at the Roval. Now, the one thing we do have to keep in mind of, everyone is on the same pit cycle except 2 cars, the 16 of Breninator and the 21 of Slade Graven. Slade Graven is in P2 right now. He's only about maybe 7 to 8 car lengths behind the leader, the 51, and a little ahead of Chase Williamson. If this does indeed go green flag the rest of the way, Slade Graven may have played the strategy of the race. If he pits a little earlier, a couple laps before, gets those fresh tires, puts some new heaters down of some good lap times, he could take the lead away from the 51.
And looking back here, back into the middle of the field, that we've had some change in hands here as Flash 9 and DB the Best, they were able to get around JWoww as they are running, I believe, 4th and 5th now, as they're starting to make their way a little bit towards the front and try to make their little charge here. As JWoww, he got loose there. He's looking to have a little bit of trouble in that 95 machine. That man Perky, he looks like he got a little bit of damage back here. He got into the wall. I hate to see that on Perky. Hopefully he's able to get that fixed up, and he's able to get that all taken care of. It looks like he's right there in 6th position. So he's right there ready to strike. So these guys, they're running a very good race. Now they're starting to spread out here a little bit, Joey. So, you know, now we should be starting to see pit stops. I'm going to see if we can get a pit stop as we got 18 laps to go on that leaderboard.
18 to go here at the Roval. Scheduled pit stops should be coming up here in a handful of laps. Not too crazy, like short distance wise. Probably about another 7, 8, maybe 9 laps away from that last pit stop. Kill like Jason Innotown, the 18, not having good runs right now. Innotown, we spoke to him last week after his great run at Talladega. What has been an abysmal season for that 18. Definitely spoke to us, talked about the highs and lows of a season like he's had so far, but he's just happy to be here right now. That's always good to hear. And there's Sharp in the 25, who's had some really good success in starting the league, but today, not so the case. He has been sort of in the back for most of the race. Lots of damage on the front of that car. Going a little further back, there's Cybron, a playoff driver in the number 4 car. Hasn't made a lot of noise, keeping it kind of quiet, but looks as though he's just kind of holding his own right here. He's a little behind Perky, doing his thing. And there's Intro Chase Williamson, and look at that gap between him, Slade Graven, and Clashin. It just seems as though the 3 cars in general are just getting closer and closer together.
They do, Joey, and I'm not sure. I gotta think, just knowing Clashin, kind of like I do, I know that he has a tendency to kind of save his stuff. You know, when he has this kind of a lead, he knows, you know, not to overdrive it, to try to save his stuff. He's always looking at his fuel mileage, his tires, stuff like that. So he knows when to he knows when to roll with it. He knows when to hammer down and get that throttle down. But he also knows when he can put it a little bit on cruise control. So it's, you know, like you said, man, it's impossible to know what he's kind of doing right now. But that 14 car, he is definitely inching closer to that 2nd spot. But these guys, you know, I don't know how they get around this track as well as they do, man. And you just kind of mentioned on Innotown, good friend of mine. I talked to him also. You know, he's just so happy to be in this league and get the experience driving with these guys. Had that great run last week at Talladega. An excellent super speedway racer. The road courses aren't necessarily his niche, but he's going to be able to have a shot, you know, going into Phoenix next week and having a good race there. You know, Sharpay as well. He's had a little bit of trouble as pit stops are looking like it's starting. Flash 9 now down pit road, Joey, would kill it like Jason.
How did I scream, oh my god, you didn't even react to it? is what I'm thinking about. On my screen, it looked like Clashing just went head on to the Hartburn, the Tums Hartburn turn. You just completely ignored it. I don't know how you did that.
I don't know how these guys do a lot of things, Joey. I mean, the skill and the talent that these guys have is absolutely remarkable. And watching these guys all season long has been a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. I've had an excellent season, and here at the playoffs, man, and they were saying, man, the playoffs is a totally different animal, man, and, you know, tempers get flared. I mean, like you said, you know, one position, 1 point can make the difference between advancing and not. So, you know.
Absolutely, and here comes Slade Graven down pit road. Talked about it. Slade Graven looking to possibly make a different strategy call here to possibly take a win away. And we'll sit here for a second, watch Slade Graven, see how he gets back onto the track.
And looking back here for P3, we have a battle of the 95 cars as DB DeBest and JWoww, they're doing a little bit of battle, and this is for third spot. JWoww, he has a little bit of damage. Now remember, a lot of the leaders have already made their pit stops, so these guys have yet to make their pit stops. So, you know, let me ask you, Joey, is it better to kind of stay out as long as you can, you know, to try to play that strategy to where, okay, you know, those guys, you know, pitted now or pitted a few laps later, if they can stay out longer, then if they're not able to lose much time when they do make their pit and they have the fresher tires for their you know, to get closer to the end, I mean, I don't know, Joey, what would you do here?
Personally, if I'm Slade Graven, I think he made the right call. You want to pit before the leaders, get those fresh tires, and get in front. It seemed as though Slade Graven did a really good job holding on to his tires. He didn't have to really worry about saving necessarily. But if you're Clashing, I would go as far as you possibly can. You have the race pace to win. Save your tires, go as long as you can, and have freshies where you can put hot laps down and hope that Slade Graven burns those tires out. So it's just a coin toss, in my honest opinion, of what you should really do here.
I would definitely think you hit the nail right on the head, man. I mean, you know, I guess it just comes down to, you know, track position and where you are on the track. You know, also as far as, you know, what your tire wear is and other factors. But, you know, it's also, you know, these strategies, you know, they change, you know, just almost on every lap. You know, you might have a strategy going in, you know, and the next lap after that, you got to change something up. And things can change on a dime here at these road courses. As we looks like we have about 13 laps to go now, Joey. So it's starting to get crunch time here in the first playoff race at this VALOR League.
Keeping an eye on Clashing and Chase Williamson. They are currently running 1-2 at the moment. Chase Williamson, though, starting to catch the 51. If you look, Chase Williamson slowly reeling in the 51 car.
And Chase Williamson, he's been fast all race long. You remember we saw him in the first stage, and he was fast. He had the lead there for a moment. He's got a fast hot rod in that 14. And I think, you know, when it comes down to it, if Chase Williamson can somehow get to the back bumper of that 51 car, we're going to see one heck of a battle. But knowing Clashing's not going to let him do it if he can. What the last thing that Clashing wants to do is and here comes Clashing. Yep.
Chase Williamson tries to zoom in, get a little bit more time on the 14. Now this is going to be the big thing. As Clashing and Chase Williamson make their pit stops, let's watch the 21 of Slade Graven and see where he ends up. So here he is, coming out of turn number 2. As he heads to the backstretch chicane. And right now, if you're Slade Graven, you know they pitted. You got to get through this section as fast as you possibly can. Great entrance and corner right there for Slade. Now, are they still on pit road? Yes, they are in pit road right now. Slade Graven should be hitting the exit right now. Here he comes, just off your screen right there. Now Clashing off. Oh man, how's it shake up? How's it shake up? Here he comes. Oh, and somehow he lost time. Wow. He lost time to Chase Williamson and Clashin, and now sits in P number 3. I was not expecting that.
Right now, it still looks as if JWoww is still stayed out. So JWoww still currently being scored the leader. Probably would look to have him probably pit this lap anytime now. So we'll see these guys definitely change hands as JWoww's got to make that pit stop as Clashin and Chase Williamson will probably most certainly, as JWoww still staying out. This is interesting on JWoww's part on the strategy that he's playing, staying out so long. He's the last car to even. I think everybody else has already pitted, and he's able to stay out this long. I gotta think, man, is this gonna hurt him staying out this long?
I think at this point, if you're JWoww, you're already that far back of the leaders. You kind of already put your strategy in stone. You're committed to it. See what happens here, Just come in, maybe just take a splash of gas. Maybe just take enough to make it to the end. Who knows? Because right now, as I'm looking on the screen, Clashin is still in the inner part of the road course. JWoww just got to the outer part of the road course. But Clashin is now getting out of the inner part as we speak. There he is right there on the map. So curious to wonder if JWoww is in front of Clashin, like a lap down wise, or if Clashin's on the lead lap.
I think Clashin is on the lead lap. I'm pretty sure Clashin is on the lead lap. At JWoww, looking at JWoww on the screen, it looks to see here he comes now. He's coming down pit road now. There it is. Okay.
Hitting now and taking the least amount of fuel possible. That is the 95 strategy here.
So let's get on. Let me get on. Oh, look at this battle here. Chase Williamson and Slade Graven. Slade Graven is caught right up to Chase Williamson. And we have a little battle here going on.
Do you call him Graven? Is that what you said?
Graven.
Graven?
Graven.
Okay. It sounds like you're saying Graven, like N at the end. I'm like, is he saying Graven or Graven?
It must be my phone, the speaker on my phone for this Discord. I gotta get something else on that. I gotta use my phone for the Discord thing.
You're good. I just thought it was like a different nickname or something. I'm like, I need to hear from Slade what this nickname's all about. I never heard of Graven before. But Clash. But like we talk about nicknames clashing with Mr. Consistency, he's doing that right now. We are now at 10 laps to go, I believe, in the race. Chase Williamson just trying to do everything he can to close that gap up. But if we remember from the last run there, Chase Williamson started getting on Clash as the long run went on. So, if you're clashing right now, are you comfortable, or do you feel as if this thing is far from over right now?
If knowing Clashin and knowing this track for Clashin, he's very comfortable. Like I said, that this is his favorite road course. He's won here before. He loves this track. It's almost like his little playground. He absolutely loves this track. I mean, he expected to come in here and get a win. If anything, he said, if he had bad luck, he would still expect to get a top 3. But he expected to get a win here. This track is right in his wheelhouse, I'm sorry. So right now, I think he's just comfortable. But what he would love to see more than anything else is Slade and Chase Williamson do a little bit of battle. Because if they get a little bit of battle, then he's really going to be able to pull away. So he's definitely hoping Slade and Chase get a little bit together. But here comes Chase Williamson, starting to look like put a little distance between him and Slade in that 21. So he's starting to look like let me see if he's running Clashing down, but he's definitely got a little bit of space now between him and Slade in that 21 machine, as Clashin is right there in front. I think he's starting to catch him here, Joe. I think Chase is actually starting to catch Clashin a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on these two. This will definitely be the battle for the win. Nothing set in stone yet. Slade Graven can definitely do something about it, but it looks as though this race is going to come down to a 3-car battle. JWoww in 4th is another 20 seconds back of Slade Graven in P3. So looks as though it's going to be a 3-car battle here at the Roval. If there's something that we never, ever should say is that the race is over, because we've seen these guys battle it out till the very last lap. And Chase Williamson looking to prove us wrong again as he's starting to slowly catch the 51.
And like you said, Joey, this is not over. I mean, we've seen already, you know, the leaders of this race. Chase Williamson was leading the race. JWoww, he was leading the race, and both of them ended up spinning and wrecking while they were leading. So this is far from over, even though we have 8 laps left. It will have 7 laps to go next time they hit the stripe, but it is far from over.
Absolutely. Watching Chase Williamson now diving in there into that final chicane, trying to get everything he possibly can to possibly catch up to the 51, who has dominated this race from start to finish. Chase Williamson did start on the pole, but unfortunately, though, he had a few issues in stage 1 that set him back. It's been a long journey to get back up to where he is in P number 2, but he's looking to possibly make the comeback of the day and take a win away, keep that momentum riding. But right now, Clashin holding on to a comfortable yet not so comfortable lead right now.
And going back to
7 to go.
Going back to what you're saying about JWoww being in 4th position, that strategy, I think, actually worked exactly the way he wanted it to. I mean, even coming out in P4, coming out in 4th place, if he was able to finish here in 4th place, that's still a win for him as far as the point standings. I mean, that would still be a great finish, exactly where he wants to be. He knows, you know, when I was talking to him as well, that this is not his best road course. You know, he's struggled here before, but he's put a lot of time, a lot of practice laps in it to get better at this road course. So if he's able to come out of here with a top 4, a 4th place finish, that would be a win for him. So that strategy, I think, worked exactly the way he wanted it to. As like you said, he's about 18 seconds back, so he's kind of a little bit on cruise control. He's by himself. Flash 9 there is now in 5th. Brennator is riding in 6th. So these guys, you know, they're sitting in exactly in points. And, you know, I mean, if it was me, I'm not a good road course driver. I'll be the first one to admit that I am not good, especially here at the Roval. So if I'm coming here to Roval and I were to get a 4th place finish, that would be a win for me. So, you know, going back up to the front here, Clashin, you know, looks like he's starting to put a little bit of space now in between he and Chase Williamson. And we saw that a little bit earlier, Joey, where, you know, as the run went on, Clashin's car was able to really pull away as the run went on. And we're starting to see that a little bit now. It's starting to pull a little bit of space between he and Chase.
Look at the gap now. It's gotten closer, because a few laps ago it was a little bit further away. I think it's the other way around. I think Chase Williamson gets better as the run goes on, because remember at the end of stage 2, or the end before that final pit stop, Chase Williamson was only like 4 car lengths behind Clashin. So Chase Williamson starting to put a little bit more pressure as Slade Graven looks as though he's out of the picture. Can't even see him on the screen anymore.
Right. Well, as I was running my mouth, it was a little bit of a space, and going through these turns, it looks like that Clashin is better in some areas of the track, but Chase Williamson is a lot better in other areas, so it's a little bit of give and take, almost like a rubber band. So he gets a little closer, and then when you get to the track where Clashin is a little bit better, able to pull away a little bit. But no, you're right, Chase Williamson is starting to pull him in and reel him in a little bit just in 2 laps. He's able to close that gap a lot, Joey. You're exactly right.
Chase Williamson, known to be a saver of tires and just knows when to go when it's the right time. And he's making sure that he's putting the pressure on the 51 right there, though. I think he lost a little bit of time right there. Yeah, he lost a little bit of time right there. He's got to run perfect laps here if he wants to have an opportunity. As they come to the line, it is going to be, I believe, 3 laps to go in the race. We'll get a double check here, but it should be 3 laps to go.
See, in that one part of the track is where Clashin is so good and Chase Williams is not so good, and that's where he's able to stretch the lead. But as the run goes on, now you'll start to see Chase Williamson start to reel him back in. So it's give and take. He catches him, and then he kind of loses it in that one part of the track. I'm kind of curious about that. We might have to ask him when he comes up into the booth if it stays this way to the finish.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a slight correction, it is 4 laps to go at the moment. It will be 3 to go this time around, but we'll go ahead and keep the 3 to go up there because it saves me a little bit of work. But right there, you saw Chase Williamson catches up to Clashin so much in the inner part of the road course. But it seems right here is where Clashin is so good, that final backstretch chicane. He just able to make so much time up. And right there, Chase had a solid corner. He didn't really lose that much time.
Nope. And this is where Chase Williamson, coming into this one, this chicane right here, this is where Chase Williamson really catches him. Look at this. See how he reels him in right there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he made up a little bit of time right there. Now we have 3 laps to go here at the Roval. If you're watching the broadcast, who do you think's going to win? JCR Clashin or Chase Williamson in the 14? Mano y mano here at the Roval with 3 laps to go. It may be a long road course, but these 3 laps will go by very fast before you even know they're done.
I wonder how much mirror driving Clashin is doing right now as Chase Williamson is pulled right up.
We got a big run. Woo! I thought he was going to make some contact there, but there's the 14. He is there. It's been a long battle, but the 14 is there. Chase Williamson now putting pressure on the back bumper of the 51 for what seemed to have been a race owned by the 51 all night long. Chase Williamson looking to possibly play the surprise closer here and take a win away.
Well, here it comes, and this part track, there it is.
He messed up right there.
Yep,
bad corner.
That chicane right there is what's been killing Chase Williamson all night long. Clashin taking the advantage of it, and look at the space he's got now. But Chase Williamson, he's going to reel him in.
It's not over. It's not over.
No way. It's not over till that lady sings. You know that, brother.
2 laps to go here. JCR Clashin opened up about another 3 car lengths there on Chase Williamson. Big momentum changer right there. But if we know Chase Williamson, it's to never count him out until the checkered flag is completely out. He has given it everything he's got in that 14, and rightly so. He gained a little time right there. Right here is where Chase Williamson is so fast through the inner part of the road course, right on that inside wall. He gained so much time on Clashin right there. Look at all the time he just gained right back.
If he's able to hit his marks, if he's able to hit his marks, drops down to the apron.
He got a good corner. Oh yeah, he's right back. He gained all that time back he lost almost right there. Good corner right here. Okay, he didn't lose that much. Okay, we got a battle. We got a race. We got a race. The 2 favorites, arguably for the championship all season long, are coming to the white flag here at the Roval. The white flag is out. Who will come out victorious here? JCR Clashin leads them into turn number 1.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is where Chase Williamson arguably has made up all the time on the 51. Clashin sacrifices the entry. Oh! Chase Williamson spins out!
Oh no!
He's around! Chase Williamson spins out! He hits the apron, he pushed the gas, he spun out, and that should do it for Clashin.
That just handed Clashin the win.
And now Slade Graven takes over P2.
Big change of events. Like you said, Joey, it's not over until it's over. This is going to play a big factor because that's a difference in points right there from second to third. If Clashin holds on and doesn't make a mistake here and takes his checkered flag, he's about to, it's going to be a big change in points. Big change of events right there with that spin. Here comes Clashin.
Out of the final corner here, he takes the final chicane very slowly and easily, coming out of the final corner, dominating all day long. JCR Clashin is going to win the first race of the playoffs here at the Roval.
And Slade Graven getting that second spot.
points today for Slade Graven. Chase Williamson, the heartbreak, finishing P3. He made a valiant effort. He charged back up there, but when it counted most, he just made a little mistake there, hit the apron, and got under him. A common mistake that happens here on NASCAR Heat 5. It's a very treacherous corner, and just got the best of Chase Williamson there. Tough break, but a great effort from Chase. He finishes third.
And J-Well, he finishes fourth. Great finish for him. Flash 9 finishes 5th. The Brennanator 6th. DB the best 7th. Perky gets 8th. Cyberonic gets 9th. And Mike Bross gets a top 10 coming home in 10th.
A crazy race here at the Roval. Just as crazy as Talladega. These drivers definitely delivered. We almost had a crazy finish there at the end on the final lap right there. I was thinking they were both might maybe take each other out there if they got to the inside of one another. But still, nonetheless, a great race here. A great first race of the playoffs. And I just think the tension and the drama is only going to be picking up from here on out. These drivers were hungry tonight, and they definitely gave us a good show.
Man, what a race, man. What a race. These guys never disappoint, do they? That was one heck of a race. That was a lot. I mean, as fun as Talladega was, this was even more exciting, man. This was in the bag. JCR Clashing, what a dominating win for JCR Clashing. Congratulations, Clashing. Awesome run for Slade, getting that P2. What a race, man. These guys put on one heck of a show every single week. And as the playoffs are really going to heat up now.
Absolutely, and we are now waiting for the top three here to talk to your top three finishers from today's race. Fastest lap of the race, Chase Williamson with a 1:13.426. My goodness gracious, that is a very, very fast lap.
This is his little playground, man. He is so daggone good here. But man, what a race! I don't know how they get around like that, man. This is just absolutely unbelievable. These guys are the best of the best, hands down. What a show! I mean, you had Chase and Clash in there, the two heavy hitters, man, going at it. Man, you couldn't ask for anything better.
Absolutely. And as we are now getting our top three in here, we're about to speak to today's race winner, JCR Clashing here, in just a moment, as well as Slade Graven with his runner-up finish, and Chase Williamson finishing P3 after that valiant effort there to make it a race right there at the end. It looked as though Clashing was going to pull away from it, but he did a great job right there. Still waiting on Clashing to get in here. But as we're waiting on him, let's go ahead and get these interviews started. We'll go ahead and talk to Slade Graven first. And we're just going to go ahead and show the beautiful number 21 car here. The car that I beat most of the time in the Pro League. Sorry, I had to throw that. Well, I had to do it.
Shot fired.
But look at that guy, Slade Graven, who told us last week it was going to be his last race. He lied to us on live television here, but he's back. Slade Graven, my man, P2 there. Probably not the way you wanted it on that last lap, but a runner-up finish, man. How'd it go, man? Tell us about your race.
I'm out of steam. I'm out of gas, bro. I felt great. Stage one, really just taking my time, working my way through the field. I went from 10th to, I want to say I was 4th, 10th to 4th the first stage. And then stage 2, kind of same thing. Restarted 7th because the 3 cars at pit, back to 4th, decided to play some strategy, pit early. Was not a team call. Did not think Brennan was going to join me. He did. So I put Woodboro's cars in the front row for stage 3, and I just hung on the best I could. I felt great for that stage 3 run, the first run. I was clicking off. I mean, I was right behind Clash, and it was 1:14.2, 1:14.1, 1:14.0, 1:13.7, 7. And it just, I pit, car still felt great, and about, I want to say I was, at one point, I was probably 1.6 behind Clash, and probably 0.6 behind Chase, something like that, and I made one mistake, fell about 2 seconds back, lost about 2 seconds, that mistake, and I was gassed out. I couldn't catch any pace. Made a bunch more mistakes, and yeah, I was driving as hard as I could, but I was out. The thing with the T150, that's the run wheel I run on. I know people give me crap for it because it's a little cheap $150 wheel. That's my PlayStation wheel. It's belt driven, so it's incredibly hard in terms of road course. It's easier because the wheel has less force feedback in terms of like a Fanatec wheel. You can move it around quicker, but it snaps a lot easier. It's a lot harder to control. It's just, you gotta wheel it. By the end of the race, I was tired. So very happy with the P2 though. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Well, that's about all we got for you, Slay. Good job on your P2 finish. Hopefully see you next week. And now moving on to, let's go ahead and talk to our race winner since he was a little late to the party. But hey, he was just celebrating, no big deal. Clash, my man, dominating stages 1 and 2 and holding off that challenge from Chase Williamson. How's it feel to win the first race of the playoffs? Just tell us how your race went.
Yeah, feels good to have a max point stay first round of the playoffs. The race, it went good, but it went badly. My car wasn't, it was okay, but it no grip the whole entire race. It just wouldn't turn. I was basically shaking the whole race trying not to wreck. I was so nervous. It was on the rails.
Well, I mean, hey, you held on to it. That's the most important part, and you held off a hard charge from Chase Williamson there. We're going to ask you really quickly there. When you saw Chase spin out there on that last lap, what was your emotions there when you saw the 14 go around?
It was nice because I was going to pick up the pace when he caught me, but then he just caught a glitch, and it was a relief. I didn't really have to push. I had a 6-second gap over second. Didn't really have to worry about much besides not wrecking.
Well, good congrats on your win, Clash, and go celebrate. We'll see you next week. See if you can carry that momentum into the next week of the playoffs here.
Shout out to Favre and DB for all the late night lobbies this week.
Absolutely. Hey, love seeing the help around. And last but not least for our interviews here, Chase Williamson. Chase, we were watching from the broadcast booth. You definitely made it interesting there at the end. Started on pole, had a little trouble there in stage 1, but you fought your way back there to fight, ultimately ending P3. Tell us about your day, and was there anything you could have done about that little incident on the last lap?
No, there wasn't I can do. I was hit the same mark as I did the lap before when I run the best lap. I run my record lap, and then the fastest lap in the race. 113.4. Wanted to go and then hit the white flag, and then hit the same line I did as that lap, and just a glitch there just turned me around up off the. I don't even know what turn that is, but.
I just call it the inner part of the road course. I say inside road course. That's all I say.
Well, but it is. And it's just kind of mad because it's kept messing up all race long like a damn idiot and couldn't really. Every time I'd catch Slade or him, I would mess up trying to arc out a little bit higher to get a better run center off to turn up under him and pass him, but I kept doing it time and time again and kept messing up. Don't know why I kept doing it. Just should have just waited like I did on pit stops and past Slade or whatever like I did. And I don't know, just not that good at driving about 14 I guess today. Just see y'all next week at Las Vegas.
Hey, you say not good driving, but still to come home P3. I personally feel like nothing to be ashamed of, but hey, that's what makes you a hell of a competitor, man. You want to be the best out there, and that's why you're out there, my man. So can't wait to see you next week. Would love to see you in Clash and duking it out again for the next week of the playoffs, man. Thank you so much for being here, and hell of an effort tonight.
Thank y'all. See y'all at Las Vegas. Hopefully, do better than I did this week. Terrible.
It'll be a good show. I think you'll do a good job. You'll be just fine there.
See y'all.
But yeah, great nonetheless right there. Speaking to our top 3 right there. Shady, real quick, your closing thoughts on the race.
Oh man, what can you say about that? Exactly what we expected. There's a lot of beating and banging, trading paint, doors slamming, tempers probably getting a little hot. Had a heck of a race, man. Awesome race. I can't wait to go to Vegas next week as we go to a elimination race next week at Vegas, Joey. So it's going to be no holds barred, gloves off, balls to the walls, or nothing at all, baby. Let's go to Vegas.
Absolutely. Viva Las Vegas. We'll see who rolls the dice and goes for the jackpot at Las Vegas next week as Clash takes the win here for race 1 of the playoffs. It's been a great broadcast, and we're going to close it out here. Congratulations to Clash on his win, and thank you to Shady for being here along with the booth with me today. We'll see you guys next week for Las Vegas as the Pocono Raceway Cup Series gang heads to the I can't remember what state it's called. We'll just call it the gambling state because it's definitely one of those. But we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Out though, if they can make it on fuel for stage number 2, which I imagine they can, but tires are really important here, especially for, oh, Mike Ross, trouble! He overshoots the corner. Oh boy, I think our spectator map's starting to glitch out a little. Back to the inside! Oh, this isn't over! Heavy braking. Oh, brother! Sends it in! Somehow doesn't get a course penalty, and that benefits Mike Ross.
Big
Wow.
time.
Is it a good debate if I say I'm having more fun with this race than Talladega? At least until the end of the stages, that is.
Well, I would have to agree. And Mike Ross up into the wall. Chase Williamson going to take that position back from Mike Ross. And I would agree with you, Joey. I mean, this road course, I mean, you know, Talladega, I mean, we had some excitement there, especially there at that